Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host, Sri Iyer. This show is coming live on 3 channels: Strategic Frontlines of Claws, Gunner Shot, as well as P Gurus. 2 good generals are traveling today, so they couldn't make it. But we have Major General Rajiv Narayanan. He's going to be the opening batsman. He's also going to be the finisher today. Let's welcome General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Namaskaram, sir. Always a pleasure to be on your show. Yes, I hold fort for the other 2 good generals.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, sir. So we are jumping straight into this. We have a picture to start with about all the regime changes, or whatever you want to call political upheavals around India, and the anarchy in the neighborhood. This is, I think, some newspaper cartoons. Very well done. Thank you so much, whichever one they did it. And so I would like to start with this and yield the floor to you, sir. Over to you.
Okay. We can remove this. I'll just make my point that these days it has become very glib for people to start talking about regime change. Ever since this chatter came up about regime change in the old Soviet states and other things, without understanding what exactly is a toolkit for regime change, how do you identify that this is a classic action of a regime change? These are what I am telling is what I have gleaned from the book 198 Ways to Overthrow an Elected Government, written by Gene Sharp in 1974. And then based on this, they have created an institution to teach this, which is in Boston, Albert Einstein Institute, which teaches this properly. So I'll give you a typical example that you try to destabilize with narratives, and maybe 1 or 2 narratives touch a chord, and then out of the blue you create this trouble through use of social media. You obviously throw a lot of money around to cloud judgment and create a momentum. How do you create? If you see a crowd, maybe 15 or 20% are there who value what is being told at that time for whatever the value is worth. Rest are all paid. He or she has come there for the money, and they are looked after. Housing is provided, whether tents or anything, food is provided, water is provided, toilet facilities are provided, everything is provided. That's the kind of money that is thrown to provide these things. As it gains momentum across many cities, it creates anarchy. And you want that anarchy. Like some people were mentioning in Nepal what happened. People look like outsiders. Yes, they are planted there for this. Rioting, looting, killing. Some have blamed the police for the shot through the head. How do you know that these people who are with guns, professionals, have not also been involved in that? So all this is done to create it. It is covered live by the TV. How come the TV people don't get caught in crossfire?
Yes.
So it's orchestrated. The crossfire is also orchestrated. Everything is organized and orchestrated, forcing the government to topple. In the smaller countries, the army plays a major role where they tell him to go. And then what is symbolic in a regime change is your person is parachuted inside as a symbol of a leader, that he will provide stability. And the only one which fits here is Bangladesh. Everything happened. You see, the problem in Bangladesh is today is faltering because the regime changed and the US aid stopped. The money funding which was coming from US aid had stopped. IMF, as per rule, cannot deal with the caretaker government. This man is worried for elections because he knows none of his people will win and people will hound him. So it's caught between the devil and the deep sea. Why do I say this is the prime? And like I said, you throw money to cloud. What was the essential background in Bangladesh? 30% reservation for descendants of Mukti Bahini. And hello, smell the coffee. It was Sheikh Hasina who cancelled that in 2018. But the Western press will not tell you that. They'll blame her for that. Sorry. It was given by her father way back in 1975. After she came to power the first time around, she felt this was wrong, brought in all people, students, cancelled it, brought it down to 5%, which was acceptable to everybody. 3 years later, in 2021, some descendants of Mukti Bahini went against this order in the High Court, contesting this. The High Court sat on it till 2024. And then Tommy Chu from there that everything has been done up. Lo behold, in June 2024, he cancels that order, and you have Hangama on the streets. Hangama on the streets should have been against the High Court judge. No. They targeted Sheikh Hasina. For what? And then, of course, the anarchy spread and she came away to India. Now, today, the student leaders themselves don't know what are they going to do. Who's going to be the next leader? And do what? The Supreme Court brought back Sheikh Hasina's order in July, but changed it from 5%, increased it to 7%. Basis, nobody knows. So that is why I say, in all these places, only classic case of a typical toolkit following is Bangladesh. Let us look at first what happened we will not look at Pakistan. Pakistan is a basket case. You jump from one country to the other country, like your country is an Airbnb or eBay on eBay, whoever pays the highest. Then you got to change the government, suit the government which panders to the US. So the Pak army is the one who behind the scenes changes all these regimes. So we're not going to talk about it because that's a different basket case altogether. As far as Afghanistan is concerned, it took them 20 years of fighting the Taliban to hand it over to Taliban. So that's what the US armed forces battle against terrorism was all about. That global war on terrorism, they called it. What? Fought for 21 years against the same people whom you handed over power and ran away. Now you're using them. You handed over that. He is happy for that. So you're using him to target Pakistan in exactly the same manner Pakistan used them to target you when you were in Afghanistan. So that's a separate issue altogether. We look at the early ones which took over, and the first one we will look at is that of both Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and then Nepal. See, this has been simmering for some time in both places. It's not that it has happened overnight. No, it has been simmering for some time because of the problem of economy. Big problem in economy. And in your face looting, that I am going to loot, what are you going to do? Which is what it was. So we talk first of Sri Lanka, the Aragale. Aragale in Sri Lanka means the struggle, which began, it took 7 months, March till November, and essentially targeted at Rajapaksa family. Can you believe it? Gotabaya had a whole lot, about 10 to 15 from his family in various positions in the government, and they were just looting the money.
Yeah.
It all begins around 2008-9, when Mahinda Rajapaksa comes up and canvassing during the elections that I am not corrupt as these existing ones. I am a small time like you, which is again was false. He was a kingpin of Hambantota, and he comes to power. Sides with the Chinese, makes a whole lot of money with the Chinese, joins up for the BRI. So everything is hunky-dory till you're using the loan. But when the loan sharks come to get the loan back, then begins the problem. And that's what happened in Sri Lanka. By then, him and his family had looted the country openly, and the arrogance, and it gave way, and you found people all over the streets and burning his house, everything, and they ran away. There was no parachuting of somebody from outside. No, no. They themselves, the parliament, and there was no targeting of the entire parliament, only the Rajapaksa family. Then they brought in Ranil Wickremesinghe. He's an old hand. He's been a PM for a number of years as the president. And then elections, it has been changed, and JVP Dissanayake has won. AK Dissanayake, AKD has won. So to say that this was a regime change, I'm sorry. Let's use the word correctly. The people came out because of their anger, and they did it. Nobody was funding them. They used to do it and go back home and then come back again. The stabilization has been provided by us, economic outreach and assistance by India. You have been holding their hand through and through. No US aid or anything coming from outside, or Chinese aid or US aid. If you're thinking regime change was done by the Americans, where was the US aid? There was no US aid money being flown in or their man brought in. No, nothing like that happened. So it was not that. Now we come to Nepal. Again, like I say, it is not a regime change. Sorry. It has been simmering. Same case. There also a pro-China, anti-Indian family. And here, a pro-China, anti-India whole group of politicians. You joined the BRI. So when the money is there, fine. You enjoy. When the money finishes, then you face the brunt. There are no jobs in Bangladesh, in Nepal. There's nothing. There's no development. All this talk of BRI will make this industry, will make that industry. Nothing has been made on ground. What do people do? And you antagonize the very country on whom you have, as they say typically in Hindi, roti beti. That means you're very close civilizational and filial connect with India that you can't do without. I'll explain that as I go about it. So we look at Gen Z. No. The turmoil had already started as far back as November 2023, where pro-monarchy protests had started. See, they pride themselves in being Hindus, and they were very angry with the entry of Islam and Christians. But this is ridiculous. And then the Chinese. I've been to Nepal. You'll find boards written in Hindi, English, and Chinese. They were very angry that why Chinese language here. So they wanted the monarchy back. They wanted to be renamed as the Hindu Rashtra and not secular as was put in 2008-9, the constitution which the Maoists gave. They were very angry with the Maoists that you are telling that you are for the people, you are looting, you are living a lavish life. I was just seeing the video shot of KP Sharma Oli's house. Oof, what a mansion, which is now of course burnt skeleton. That's what that is left of it. Again, it happened in February, then 2024, then again it happened in April 2024. But all these were put down quite brutally. Okay. Then begins, you find Feb 2025 onwards. Gyanendra Singh had quit his Naranhiti palace and he had shifted to Pokhara. So he comes, when he lands in Kathmandu, the crowd of people who came to meet him and support him included a whole lot of Gen Zs. Okay. That is when these started, when they spoke about looting, economic, macroeconomic mismanagement, looting of the thing, you're spoiling the relations totally with India based on Lipu Lake and Limpu Darya and all that Kalapani area for nothing. And nobody went. As per him, he said nobody stopped us from going anywhere. We had such good relations. It's an open border. Now the borders are being patrolled, he said, by SSB. It's very difficult to get across like that. You can't, except for the crossing places where ID is checked these days. Earlier, nobody checked anything. You just could walk across, come in. So there were no jobs. See, when there are no jobs, then the youth can be easily utilized in any direction that you want. And that is when a hashtag started in the diaspora, not in Nepal. Nepo kids. Hashtag Nepo kids. Because with photographs of how the children of all these politicians, whether it be from Congress, whether it Nepali Congress, or whether it be from Maoist, everybody except the Rashtriya Praja Party of the monarch, except their people. Everybody else, their kids are enjoying. They're going into the Ivy League, paying full money and moving around in big hotels and buying all the luxury goods out there. They said, how the hell are you going to affording all this when we can't afford anything? We barely manage on scholarship out there. So that became a big rage. The blocking of the social media and apps was to stop this. What they said about their people have not registered on, it's all crap. They're not registered for long. You didn't stop them then. Stop them because this, everywhere in Nepal, it caught on. Now, when you blocked it, the common man was hurt because he used to call his people abroad on WhatsApp. Now you blocked it. He can't afford to call a normal ISD call. Very expensive. I think that was the last straw on the camel's back, and they just came. When they came, of course, the rogue elements will also come in, do all the firing and everything. And 36 hours. Starts on 8th September, 9th September, it's over. There's no one parachuted from outside again. Nobody's come from outside. I'm sure even the Americans and the Chinese must have got caught on the back foot this time. Nobody's come. Even Gyanendra Shah is not there. He's not coming as head or anything. The army chief spoke and brought the calm. Ashok Raj Sigdel. Now the speech that he gave, tremendous indicator. In that video, if you see the photo, normally the chief has the president's photo at the back because the president is the supreme commander. He had the photo of the first king of Nepal, Prithvi Narayan Shah, who is the one who brought together all these 54 principalities together in the 18th century. He, in 1768, 60 sometime, he brought them together. Hello, hello. What is the message you are sending? Okay, he tried to bring in the talks one party which was not RPP. RPP refused to come for the talks. I think Rashtriya Socialist Party or some party which is pro-monarchy. The Gen Z reps refused. And by the way, Prithvi Narayan Shah, when he started this war, it has an Indian connection. I think 1740s sometime he came to power, and 1760s he won it. His father-in-law was a Thakur of Varanasi, who was the one who was funding him and giving him weapons and ammunition. I'm sure the British must be talking to the British and giving it to them. Okay, I'm forgetting his father-in-law's name, some Thakur. That is what I said, roti beti connection. Daughters from there married here, daughters from here married there. I think one of the daughters of the royal family married into the Scindias. right? So now the discussions are going on between the president, Podel, the army chief, and there are about 15 representatives from the Gen Z who were there. See, here they laid a cutoff limit of 28 years. If you have to come for that, is how you were able to target the rogue elements. They were older. Otherwise, rest of them were 28 years or below. So, who are the front runners for the interim government who have to rewrite the constitution? And my guess is that the monarch will be made the titular head of state. Secularism will go out in their constitution and it will be called a Hindu Rashtra. And they don't want any of the current lot of politicians to be part of it. That is the Communist Party and the Congress Party. That's why you find how they thrashed up Devua and his wife. Because they're very angry that you were anti the Communist Party, but we joined hands with them to loot. And unfortunately, one of the ex-PM's wife died in that when their house was burnt. She got burnt to death. They brought her out, took her there, but she didn't survive. So who are the front runner is the ex-CJI, Sushila Karki, who has an Indian connect. She studied in BHU. The other person coming up also in the discussion is ex-Nepal's Electricity Authority, the MD, Electricity Authority MD, Kulman Ghising, who they like him because he, before he took over till 2020, he took over and I think he retired about 2023. Before that, there used to be tremendous power cuts across Nepal. He's the one who stabilized the power distribution, thanks to India also, the power that we helped them generate. And electricity stabilized. So they like him that this is one man. So he is there. Then there is a city, Dharan, his mayor, Harka Sampang. Then Kathmandu mayor, Bhalendra Shah, who was in the lead, is now not being discussed. Maybe people may have objected to his American connections. Though they like him, that he's doing a good job, but he just became the mayor just last year. So how much of a good job they say is not correct, but what is coming out that he has also said no. He doesn't want to be part of the interim government. Maybe he is looking at being a part of the government when it is formed, when the elections are held. The others in the interim government talks are ex-speaker Onsari Gharti Meghar, lawyer Om Prakash Agarwal, Dr. Govind Kesi, there's a Brigadier General Prem Shahi, some ex-EC, Election Commissioner Neelkant Upreti. The talks are going on. What comes out, we don't know. The precise thing I'm saying, there's nothing, no one has been parachuted from outside, nothing orchestrated. These two are classic examples of not being a regime change. Did we facilitate it? I really don't know. But the leanings is very clear from the Gen Z. The leanings are towards India. Very anti the Chinese. Because they feel that it is the Chinese who have spoiled the whole issue. Now, as the cookies are crumbling around us, what do you see? Two pro-Chinese, anti-India governments have collapsed. Sri Lanka, Nepal. Why will a regime change bring in a pro-Indian government out there if these are being done as per the narratives to put pressure on India? The logic is warped. Okay. Now you find, like I said, the CIA attempt was there in the East. Very classic case, but that has got stalled. There's no aid. When the old government changed, Trump government came. Now they were trying to get a foothold inside. Humanitarian corridor. Yunus agreed, shot down by the chief. The chief of Bangladesh just booted the Americans and said, bullshit, who the hell are you to talk to him? He's just a caretaker. When nobody is there, I will decide what is to be done. That would have given the Americans a big shock. And special operations 2-star general, what the hell was he doing in Dhaka where he died, and how did he die? Mysterious. No autopsy done. Handed over to the embassy and whisked away to USA. So they are up to dirty tricks, but it's not gelling. Then you look at the upheaval in North Myanmar, the Three Brotherhood Alliance. Who are there? Arakan Army, the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army, and the Taang National Liberation Army. They came together in 2019. They call it 1027 movement. 1027 movement. Based on 10 is October, 27th is the date. 27th October 2023 is when, yes.
Which country puts its month first?
America.
And then
Yes, America. Right. So
over to you, sir.
1027, that is 27th October 2023. And what has it resulted in? China has lost all influence. Like I said, attempts by the Americans via Bangladesh has gone. They've tried another trick there. Now, since they're not getting an outreach, which is very clear that they're angry with the Three Brotherhood Alliance, people will not tell you, but there has been at least one meeting that I know of with the Home Ministry by the reps of the Three Brotherhood Alliance. Okay, quiet. You have launched drone attacks there. The Ulfa number 2 has been terminated there. We knew about that because of this, and it got published. Otherwise, what I'm told, that the army has launched this was the third or fourth attack, drone attack, mass drone attacks, swarm drones. Okay. So Chinese have lost the photo. Now the Northern Alliance is on generally good wicket with you. So what is Americans trying to do? They've removed the Janta from their sanctions. You think the Janta is going to bother about you? They've lost control of more than half of the country. What is he going to do? Okay. So they have stable relations. So when you step back and look at the larger picture in your neighborhood, what is the narrative of failed diplomacy? NDA will get overthrown by a similar student movement. All your diplomacy is failed all around, everywhere anti-India narrative. Is that true? Maldives, Sri Lanka, Nepal, North Myanmar, Bhutan, Afghanistan, all today have or are looking at stable relations with India. Biggest turnaround, Maldives. From out India to a 21-gun salute to your PM. That's the power of your diplomacy. Except 2 clowns, one to the west and one to the east. Both are sinking fast. Sinking very fast. One is surviving only on dole, literally. He has a interest that he needs to pay is over $10 billion annually, and the aid that IMF has given him is only 7 billion, of which the last tranche was in May. No tranche has come as yet. How is he going to pay it? With what? While America, people will say, oh, Bangladesh, the Americans have put less tariff on them. Smell the coffee. All countries who had contracts with Bangladesh have signed contracts with you. As of August this year, Bangladesh has no contracts for any garment that it can export. So what if USA has, the White House, I won't say USA, the White House has given lesser tariff to Bangladesh for his garment. The US and the Western companies are not buying. Because you had given them the quota. All the cotton and everything material you used to send. For them to make it and send, fill up the quota system that was there in the US and the West, that this is Bangladeshi garment, that's done and dusted. There's no bijli. Okay. So, when you look at yourself, yours is the only economy which is growing fast. Last quarter was 7.8. Everybody else is looking at 1, 2, 3.4, 0.1. Like Germany is 0.4. 3 years he says recession. Macron won't say that he has recession, it's 0.1. Less than Germany. Jobs are available. Jobs, see, in a socialistic thought process, you will always look at job as government job. Bullshit. Job is not just government job. You can also generate jobs. You open MSMEs, startups. See, even if I open up a small MSME and I have just about, say, 20 workers, do you realize how much of unorganized labor is utilized to support you? Where do you get your raw material from? Who's loading those trucks? Who's unloading those trucks? Where are the trucks coming from? Who's driving those trucks? Your stocks go. It doesn't go up straight away. You have hired a warehouse. Who's unloading in the warehouse and stocking in the warehouse? Who's loading it into your containers? Look at the kind of unorganized labor also which comes with it. So that's why I say jobs is not a problem. It's available. Your own internal consumption is at 65%. If the jobs were not there, how are you consuming at 65%? No country in the world has this amount of internal consumption. If jobs are not there and people don't have money, how is the internal consumption at this level? And with the GST 2.0, they're expecting in the next year or two to increase to 70%. Youth is enthused. He has all kinds of support for him. So why will he agree to this fraud narrative? Except, of course, there will be a few of them who will come out on the streets like Kanhaiya Lal and gang. I don't have job. Obviously, if you're not qualified and you're not skilled, you will not get a job. At best, you will get a job as a peon or a guardman, security agency. If you have got skills and you have developed your skills, you'll get your job. So many factories and companies coming up all over. Narrative, you are still underdeveloped and poor. Underdeveloped? In World Manufacturing Index, you are number 5. And they say that by the end of this financial year, you will be at number 4 or number 3. Because the people above you are facing recession, Japan and Germany. So after China and US, you will be the number 3. And you're saying I'm underdeveloped? Don't accept any narrative at face value. Investigate yourself. Okay. Now you step further back and look at the global picture in this tariff war. I just give you a broad structure of EU. EU has 3 layers. In the 27 countries, the topmost layer of EU is the EU Council. The Council has the heads of the state of government there, and they elect one of them as the president. Currently is the Portuguese, Antonio Costa. They decide the geopolitical, geostrategic, and geoeconomic direction for EU. It's their decision. Because they are the heads of state, heads of government. They sit together and decide what should be the next layer is the EU Commission below that, where their reps, professionals, are placed there, and one of them is elected as the president. That is Ursula von der Leyen. That is why in the White House, when he was speaking to them and he wanted to speak certain strategic issues with the heads of the state, the NATO heads of state who had come there, he threw out Ursula von der Leyen from the Oval Office. He said, I'm talking to elected representatives. You are not an elected representative. Please wait outside. She's not an elected representative. That's why Macron also screamed at her when she went to Scotland and went to USA to do the deal. He said, who the hell are you? As the council told you, you can't go off on your own. So based on these policies, the commission decides how they need to frame their rules. And if they need some new rules, below it is the parliament, European Parliament, who frames the rules. Directions come from the European Council. And a few days ago, a 1-hour video chat between the President of the European Council, President of the European Commission, Modi and his team. Two things they agreed on. Ursula was given the directions, finish the FTA as per India's requests. It's going to be finished by end October, beginning November. FTA with EU. Because India laid out what was laid out for what you have signed with UK and the EFTA. They've said, yes, we'll do this. So the direction of alignment of EU has shifted from USA towards India. That is what made the POTUS blink. Navarro has still not got it. Plus, he must have been given a mouthful by those tech leaders whom he had called for dinner. And the Wall Street would have given him a mouthful. What are you doing? The future health of our companies depends on India. And you're taking a fight with them unnecessarily? He has blinked. How long this lasts, I don't know. Okay. Now, what India has done is you have strengthening BRICS. So just you look, step back and see who all are standing with you today, who are aligning with you. I won't say standing with you totally, but who are starting to align with you. EU, West Asia, much of Africa, much of Asia, much of Latin America, much of the Caribbean, Russia. How are you going to live without all these? That means the world island is going against you. And reminds me of the words given by Lee Hsien Loong, the ex-PM of Singapore, about a couple of weeks ago, where he said, when he was asked a question about US tariff war, he said it could become world minus one. Thing repeated by his finance minister, what he had said, that the world can live without US. Can the US live without the world? That is dawning on Trump. That is dawning now. Big time. And in all this chatter, where is JD Vance? Quiet. Because he knows the fall has to be taken by Trump, because he is a one-man army. Then he is available. Now you look at the other side, the governments who have succumbed to Trump's arm twisting, and the trade deal is actually a smoke screen for forcing people to invest. Okay. The smaller countries, he's arm twisting them for trade deals. So look at what has happened. Japan, the PM is gone. Who's the new PM? We don't know. Indonesia, he agrees to the deal in July and August. There is violence on the streets, strikes on the streets. Obviously, they will be angry that you're hitting. Indonesia is also an agricultural country. You permit their agriculture to come in, the agricultural people go down the drain. What are they going to do? How is Prabowo going to manage this? That is to be seen. France, Macron is a fool. He knows he is sinking. He knows France is sinking. 0.1% is your GDP growth. Handsome, you're facing recession. His PM, that is why he's not been able to pass the budget. You're not going to cut this spending of increasing your defense budget. You're not going to cut the spending on support to Ukraine. What are you cutting? Cutting pension and social security. Obviously, whole lot of people are out on the streets. The second prime minister will also not make the cut. See, the single largest party there is the far right. Not Macron, not socialists. These two got together so that Macron could continue. But now there is a big fight. Will the socialists be happy if you're cutting the social security? I don't know. He's refusing to resign his year. He finishes his term in 27. I don't know whether he'll last. UK government signed the deal, but he's still in trouble because his root is wokeism. Starmer's root is wokeism, and he has a total anti-India stance. Somebody up there has twisted his arm for the trade deal. Yes, the wokes are not happy, but the people on the ground are happy with the trade deal that has been done with India, because if the trade deal is not there, they are sunk. That is why UK, France and Germany have reached out to IMF for bailout loans. Handsome, you call yourself Global North? Is this Global North? If you are asking loan from IMF, damn it, you are Global South, as good as Global South. We stopped taking loans from IMF, God knows, 1 or 2 decades ago. We don't take loans from IMF. And you call me Global South. And you are looking at IMF for a bailout. So, what is the way ahead? There will be tremendous narratives and anti-India stance coming. Look at the latest narrative index. The Global Happiness Index. Hello. You are at number 100 out of 179 countries. The fastest growing economy, the youth is very happy, everything is normal, everything is going hunky-dory, but you have been kept below Bangladesh, you are below Nepal, you are below Sri Lanka, you are below Pakistan. I think Pakistan is below you. You're below Afghanistan. Hello. What narrative are you making, bhai? Doesn't sell. Anti-India rhetoric. Swiss, the UNHCR head, talking to India of minorities and other things, and got a solid tight slap on the back from Kshitij, our rep there, where he said your xenophobia, racism and other things, you can take help from us, we have help. So these are the kind of rants which are still there. These are old toolkits. It doesn't work today. In the today's world of social media and digital connect, it doesn't work. Okay. Now they don't know new toolkits. Why? Because in the woke, they call themselves liberalists, normally known as woke. I call them extreme leftists. They only pick up people who work with them. Merit be damned. So when there is no merit, upper story to let. Upper story to let, then whatever is the toolkit old, open up, brush the dust and start using it again. You can't use it. You got to modify it to the prevalent situation on ground, which they can't do. Okay. What they will be, don't get worried. You are very strong. The waves that are coming today are very mild. Your ship will sail easily. But you got to be careful for your internal and external security. Now, my worry is more for US because it faces a very big internal economic and political crisis. I keep watching both CNN and Fox News because one gives the Democrats angle, the other gives the Republicans angle. What worries me is here is a man who has brought in people who are blatantly breaking all rules and just doing things the way they want with no accountability. There are set procedures given if you want to do A, B, C. They couldn't be bothered. Nothing. They just go ahead and do it. In your face that if you can do it, do it. If you can stop me, stop me. And the Congress is quiet. That's my concern. That's why I call it the political crisis. If you take tariffs, the president doesn't have the executive authority to pass such tariff laws across the whole world. The International Emergency Economic Act the bill has to start from the House of Representatives, cleared by the Senate, then it goes to the president, and then the president can pass an executive order on that particular tariff. Not that you just keep signing tariff. Has the Congress said anything? Why not? They come up and keep saying on various platforms that what he's doing is illegal. Then what have you been elected into the Congress for? Why haven't you brought up this point of discussion and started proceedings against him? What's stopping you? I'm sure you're making money because he tacos. And by the way, internal, what do they call it? When you know a thing is happening and so you buy it at a lower cost because of tariff, and when he tacos the things, insider trading. Insider trading is illegal in US.
Yes.
How many of them? We all know that Trump and his family have made tremendous amount of money. And I'm sure a lot of congressmen have also made the money. That's why they're quiet. This is something. See, till the tariff or trade war is not going to sort out your economy, because today what has happened is nobody is picking up your treasury bonds. How do you manage your debt? You can't tariff the world. Your own people are going to pay for it. It's already happening. 13 southern states, which depend on agriculture and MSMEs, as per Deloitte's report, they're facing recession. And if he goes down this route, by the end of the year, if not early next year, US faces recession. Because the tariff, unfortunately, it doesn't understand, is going to be paid by you people. Because you're importing. Americans are going to pay it. If something costed $30, you'll be paying anything between $35 to $40 for it. Simple and straight. And as he increases his tariff, 50%, 100%, who's going to pay? The people of US. You think any of those countries from where the things are coming are going to take the load of the tariff? Nonsense. Even the person who's selling it, he's going to add his commission to that tariff and give it to you, so that after paying the tariff, he makes some money. So ultimately, it is the people of USA who are going to face this problem. And when purchasing power goes down, then you have an issue. That is where the macroeconomic issue comes in. And the US has to get its act together, the Congress, to resolve this macroeconomic. And that can only happen when you stop thinking that you can control the world island by creating conflicts everywhere. Now the chickens are coming home to roost. Like the chickens came home to roost for the Chinese, it's coming home to the US to roost. You got to understand today that you are not the policeman of the world. You have to look at a multi-polarity, partnered security and economic apparatus. If you think you're going to do this, it's going to be trouble. So he has reached out to India. I hope they stay true to that. And the only way he can stay true to that is removing the first, I would say, remove Navarro and Besant and Lindsey Graham and that other woman who's there. Just remove them from your close proximity. Remove. Navarro and Besant should be out of your government. Get some sensible people who will talk, because you're following the diktat, what was written in the Heritage Foundation, America 2025. What? Some mentor for
Project 2025. Project 2025.
2025 member for the leadership something. In that there were two parts. One was this multipolarity, going with the other countries and getting your trade deals through. And then the other part, which was written by Navarro, which was trade war. You've seen this part fail, and it has failed drastically. How do you pull back? Throw this man out, get that other chap who had written there about having good relations, trade deals, proper trade deals with everybody, not tariff. And he had said no tariffs. Get your trade deals in place. Get that person, you may still be able to get back. Now, when you look at the larger picture in the turmoil, the P5 in the UN, one way or the other, have lost all relevance. Other than in the region, thus Russia have the same heft on the table like what Soviet Union had? Zero. What is the heft that China brings? Nothing. What is the heft that France and England, if they are moving towards IMF for loan, what heft does US bring? Nobody brings any heft. So it's time, the global north itself is losing heft. Canada is standing on one feet to have the deal with India. So they started initially by saying that it's a small portion of Khalistanis. Now today they are openly saying that no, the Khalistanis are running the roost here. We must do something about it. Start doing, then you may get the. They also realized that the path that Trudeau took was so damaging, and thanks to the tariff war, they're up a gum tree. It's nice to say that I have blocked and I have stopped taking wheat from US. Good. Now, where are you going to get wheat from? Somewhere else? Have you thought about the transportation charges? How easy it was to get from USA. You see, it's nice to gloat and say, oh, I've stopped all wheat and I'm not buying wines from US. Damn good. Where are you going to get it? France? Who's going to pay for the handling charges from Champagne all the way to Canada? So, yes, you may feel proud that you have done something, but it cuts both ways. Yes, it's the people of the US and the people of Canada also who pay for it. So, there is now a positivity with you. Don't forget that. Around you, don't get worried. All these people, that map which was shown that there is so much of things going on all around. No, Afghanistan is with you totally. He's kicked out the Chinese. He's with you totally. You take Bhutan, he's always with you. Take Nepal, the Gen Z and the others who are taking, they have leanings with you. Sri Lanka is with you. Why get worried unnecessarily if Pakistan and Bangladesh are down in the dumps? Let them be down in the dumps. They will realize what is going on. Pakistan was always against you, right, since 47. Where is the concern? Bangladesh is down in the dumps. They don't know what to do. If he doesn't have his election, he has no money. There is no aid coming in. There's no funding coming in other than black money, something which may be coming in from smuggling and other things. What is the money that he has? Nothing. And it was, the students have realized that. They have reached out to me on X, which I've told them to shut up because they went after the wrong chap, wrong person. They should have gone after the High Court judge instead of her. Now they say there is nothing coming in. What do we do? So now get after Yunus. That's all that is you to do. I can't help you. So I am looking at, in the coming months, years, the entire UN and all the financial institutions are going to see a big change. Reason why will, like IMF, you don't have voting, one vote per person. There is a weightage to all votes, that US has the maximum, it gives the maximum money. If France, Germany, UK are looking at loan from IMF, those people who take loans don't have voting rights. How the hell Are they having more voting weightage than India or even China or even Russia, who doesn't take? So the day they approach the IMF, they should, as per the regulations of IMF, lose their voting rights, or their voting should be equivalent to one. You see the changes that are going to take place in all your institutions. And it's going to be with you. And it is because they are so worried about you that you're becoming strong. They're not able to twist your arm. They're not able to twist your arm. That's why I said that in many platforms is because you are rising despite them, not because of them. And hence all this anti-India narrative will come. Oh, look, all your surrounding countries are in flames. Everything is gone. Your diplomacy is useless. You are failing. Sorry, nothing is failing. Except for Pakistan and Bangladesh, rest are going to be with you. They have learned their lesson. By the way, none of these people have been given asylum by India. Either they are in some military garrison, but rumors are spreading on X, but they've all gone to Dubai. India has given them, none of them, asylum. That also the Gen Z has kept in mind, and everybody has kept in mind. But I go back to Nepal, the photo at the back. The first monarch of Nepal. He was otherwise the king of Gorkhas. There were 54 principalities. Gorkha was the most powerful. And then he combined all of them and he's the first king of Nepal, Prithvi Narayan Shah. So there is a big messaging which is being sent to the people also and to the world at large, bringing him back. And a big message to China actually. This is one of the biggest message to China, that Nepal is gone from your grip. How we chart it further, I'm sanguine that this government will do a good job. That remains to be seen. My only advice is don't get caught by these negative narratives. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, General Narayanan. And what a talk. 56 odd minutes uninterrupted. Well, except for one time that I said something. But wonderful, sir. I have two questions before we turn to our viewers' questions. First question is the Pashupati Nath temple attack. Why would Gen Z go after them? Or was it like, while there is...
Not Gen Z. These were the Islamists who were there.
So it's been proven there?
Yeah, the army surrounded that. That's why they didn't permit them to go there.
Okay.
Not the Gen Z.
That's good to know. I did not know that. Sir, the next question I have is the rare earths of Brahma Desa. I like to call them as Brahma Desa. Myanmar.
Yeah.
Who is now controlling that, in your opinion?
It is the Three Brotherhood Alliance. They have taken over. See, there was a big problem. How the whole thing started out. China was doing the illegal mining. Now, normal mining of these rare earths, for the audience, I would say, rare earth doesn't mean they are very rare. Very common, available in most of other ores. But it's in small quantities and very difficult to take it out. The chemicals that are used, the acids that are used, are very damaging not only to the environment, it's cancerous. So there was a spike in cancer in Northeast mine, which is where the bulk of these mines are, which the Chinese were doing illegal. And that is the background to all these getting together and throwing out the Chinese. 50 to 70,000 Chinese have been booted out from there, literally. They are sitting in Yunnan. So they have taken control of that area. India is going down the, it's called the biochemical way, using bacteria and certain other things to take it out. How fast they'll be able to do, I don't know. Will they give it to India? I don't know, because there are still a lot of anti-India, your terrorist groups who are still in hiding out there. It's a very highly underdeveloped area. Lot of forests, very thick forests and forests. How much the three brotherhood alliance will also be able to control is difficult to say. Very tough, very tough. I was looking after one, the north border of Myanmar. South Arunachal was with me. A very tough area, very difficult area. Like, you have 4 days pass for people, 16 kilometer, which has been stopped, I'm told now. So persons across the border used to go. Most of the time you had your heart on Fridays, people used to come. See, a man has to walk 3 to 4 days away to go to an authority to get a slip. By the time he comes back, the duration of the slip is over. So we used to overlook that, and we used to tell the people, okay, the Mukhia can sign, stamp it and give it, and he comes and goes. A lot of assistance from across from here, medicines they won't have, construction material. We used to send it across. We used to get word and we used to have it sent across. So it's a tough area. So I'm sure the Brotherhood Alliance would have taken control. That is what the Americans were wanting to take control of through this so-called humanitarian corridor, which Bangladesh refused. Because it goes through Rohingya territory.
Yes. Yes.
Arakan.
Rakhine state. Yeah.
Rakhine state, and that Arakan army has taken control of the Rakhine state. So that was what.
Thank you so much, sir. A few questions from our viewers. Let's quickly go through them. First one from Aprameya. Sir, should India support a referendum in Nepal for joining with India?
Aprameya, all you youngsters, I am sure you are a youngster, because I've seen a lot of youngsters take over this area, take over that area. Let us first secure what we have before we start looking at. There was a time long ago, I think 1950 or sometime, when the king of Nepal wanted to join India, and Nehru said no. You yourself were beggars at that time. Okay, people may be angry today. In hindsight, he should have accepted. What did you have? And you would have so many more mouths to feed. So relax. If you have very good relations, say like the Schengen area of EU, you travel. You have good EU, like EU. If you have very good relations, people move. No? Then borders are not there. Look at that, rather than kabza karo. That is antiquated.
Next one, please. Ramki wants to know, this is the uneducated generation seeking 30,000 rupees per month. Do we need these uneducated kukri wielding guys back? Sir, you know the money going out of Indian embassy there.
Ramji sir, how are you sure that those people are uneducated? They're not. Some of them are, yes. Are they seeking 30,000 per month? I have not heard this. This is the first time I'm hearing it, that they want 30,000 per month. These people are, you have so many Gurkhas and Nepalese in India. Do you see them wielding kukris? I don't see them wielding kukris. So from where has this narrative come, that do we need these uneducated kukri wielding guys? I don't see them wielding kukris. They're everywhere, working everywhere, very hard working. This is the narrative, uneducated kukri wielding. Don't fall for the narrative.
Viewers, those of you who have not seen the movie Sam Bahadur, do watch it. Even if it is a Bollywood movie, sometimes they do get it right. I thought the tone and the way it was presented was right.
And the way this chap acted also.
Yes, yes. Vicky Kaushal.
Yes.
Next question thank you so much. Next question. Nepal Gen Z ended the communist and Naga Nipo kids regime. Do you foresee possible impact on Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala governments of similar characteristics to communism and Nipo kid problem?
Do you think the Nipo kids are only restricted to these states? It's all over. It is just that the differential was vast in Nepal, so it became an issue. Quite a lot of diaspora, they go out to study in other places. So they see the difference that they are struggling and these Nepo kids are enjoying. Then it becomes a problem. And within that itself, when you go to Nepal itself, you see the stark difference. Touchwood, you don't have that kind of differential. But the issues in Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, that will get resolved over a period of time as people get educated properly. So I'm not looking at some kind of Nepal sort of people coming on the streets and fighting. No, they didn't have jobs. So as they say, idle mind is a devil's workshop. So they came. Whether you look at Bengal, Tamil Nadu or Kerala governments, you think the youth is without jobs out there? That's not the case. If there's no job in Bengal, he's outside. India has the jobs too. Kerala people are also having jobs. Tamil Nadu too is full of jobs out here. And it's part of the defense corridor also. So, like I said, it doesn't happen that way. You can't extrapolate one to the
other. Thank you, Racha Kaul. At F-35 at our port, was it our radar capabilities or just more pre-informed, no stealth landing? Do you think that China White Emperor is big marvel? Well, I don't know what China White Emperor is.
Firstly, F-35. No. See, when you're doing the exercise, then you keep certain indicators on so that the radar can pick you up. The exercise was over. Exercises were done in dust. But you caught them on the radar. And I'm sure you did something directed energy weapon. And it stayed in Ananthapuram for 38 days. Okay. What is not told, it came out in one or two media, and was on social media also, from US also. When this happened, to threaten you, the US flew one F-22 and F-35 from Bahrain. Qatar. Al Udeid base, which is one of the biggest air bases there. They flew that, came towards you. You painted them with your radar. So these modern aircrafts, moment you get picked up in a radar, they get a sensor warning. They got lit, turned tail, and went away. That's a fact.
So you're thinking that this happened during Op Sindoor, sir, those 4 days?
No. It was after that.
After that, okay.
And as far as the Chinese emperor is concerned, we don't even know who will be the emperor next.
Thank you, Racha Kaul. Is China 5.35% growth a competition to our 7.8% growth?
Is China at 5.35?
So this is one thing. People see Indian numbers are odd there. India does proper collection. There is a statistical institute that goes and actually captures information from the remote corners. So the GDP, nobody questions India's GDP numbers. But China's GDP numbers are always questioned. I mean, you run bullet trains and you say that is GDP.
I'll tell you why. The complete China's macroeconomics, GDP, 30% was on realty sector, 68% was on export, 2% was internal consumption. This was the Chinese macro GDP model. Realty sector has collapsed. Your export is somewhere between 30%, 35%. A collapse of 40 to 50%. Your normal teaching in economics says that no country can take a double-digit hit of GDP to go into recession. Here you have 60% hit of GDP and you're telling me is growing at 5.35%. Whom are you fooling? You look at their social media. People are screaming on the streets today. They don't have place to stay. They're lying on outside on the roads. It's pits. China, this is what the problem is. They don't know what to do. They have no other model. They're running out of money. They can't pay their people. People are running away. To hide, they are throwing away their ID cards. They are running away back to the rural areas, that at least in a small field I will till at least one meal a day I will have. See, I could say self-learned economist. I don't know much, but I feel that this GDP model is useless. Why? If there is no return on my investment, what use of any growth? Tell me. This gross domestic produce is only seeing at what you're producing. That means I can do a whole lot of infrastructure development, and so the demand for steel and bitumen and various things will keep increasing, and you will say, ha ha ha, GDP is growing. Is it? Unless that infrastructure is giving something back to me as revenue. Any company you take, you look at your assets and liabilities. And GDP is only looking at assets, is not even looking at liability. How the hell can you tell that this is a... So yes, like today, if you take the manufacturing index, China is the number one producing, and they say it produces 50% of the produce. But does it sell 50% of the produce? Can it sell 50% of the produce? It used to go to Europe and USA. USA has already started a trade and tariff war. It doesn't go there. EU, I listed you 3 companies, UK, France, Germany, who are looking at loan. There's nothing going there. So what are you going to do? You just look at the produce and say 5.35. This is a narrative by the MNCs of the West, because the moment they say China is falling, they have to pull out. Now they can't pull out because they have weaponized geopolitics. So they want India to bend to what they want, because this is the only place they can come. So you're telling no. There is no competition with China. Why is China reaching out to you like goody two shoes? How can he sell? This is the market where he can sell. Like I said, 65 to 70%. If he gets this market, he's up on a gum tree. You're not giving him the market. He is in the dumps. I don't even take these statistics. Whatever these people say, just divide it at least by 10. 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, yeah, 1%, that would be the growth of China.
थैंक यू सौरभ सबरवाल, जिसने भी चाइना से हाथ मिलाया है बाद में बड़ा ही पछताया। चंद्र ग्रहण को के बाद
Japan, Nepal, France, Thai PM gone. Trump is waiting for Surya Grahan. No, Thai PM case is very different. She asked for it. They have a border problem with Cambodia. It's right on the border, and it's actually a Hindu temple. Who owns that Hindu temple? That rich. The fight is with that. Her talk with the Cambodian president got released, where she was blaming her army chief. That went to court, that how are you discussing this thing? And the court had already given her a rap. She was refusing to step down. So again, people went to court and she's been kicked out. Her father, who came back, who was to be in jail, acted that he is unwell and he was in the hospital for so many days. The court has sent him back to jail and said 1 year at least you will stay in jail. So Trump थाई पीएम का केस अलग है, वो तो उसके पहले था। जापान का प्रॉब्लम था, ट्रेड डील के लिए नहीं भेजा जब मोदी आ रहे थे। मोदी जाने के बाद आर्म ट्विस्ट होकर ट्रेड डील। जैसे एनी कंट्री विच हैज एन एक्सपोजर अबाउट 20 to 30% to the USA will bend to USA. Let's be blunt about it. India is not bending. Your exposure to USA is 2%. Doesn't give you a damn, because you can divert your things everywhere. That's your strength. That's why I said your growth is despite him. So Japan had to go because there he went and agreed for 550 billion. Here you're facing recession, people came out on the streets. And by the way, as per Pew and various other indices, today 74% of the Japanese hate Americans. That's the status. Nepal, you can say, France तो खैर वो तो काफी पहले से पता है, writing was on the wall.
Next one, please. Srinivas Kambhampati wants to know, salute Major General, Namaste Sri Ayerji, Jamaat-e Islami swept Dhaka University polls, your views, sir.
मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? They may sweep the Dhaka University polls. What difference does it make? It sweeps
Srinivas,
the polls.
they have banned the biggest political party and then they are doing all these elections. I mean, they have no legitimacy. Yeah, Awami League. They have no legitimacy here.
Makes no difference. ठीक है, he swept his polls. So what? Does it give food to the people on the streets?
As far as Bangladesh is concerned, General hit the nail on the head. Why did a two-star general from the United States die under suspicious circumstances? What was he doing there? Saurabh, thank you so much. Sir, please elaborate on our anti-India pro-China government point. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Did you understand?
If you take Sri Lanka, that was totally anti-India and pro-China. Yes. Signed all the deals, gave Amban Protap, all these things that they were leaning towards China. You take Maldives. Muizu won on anti-India and pro-China stance. You take Nepal, Oli was totally anti-India, pro-China. That's the whole issue. All of them have either gone or turned. And yet our people believe the narrative that our diplomacy is failing. Ridiculous.
Krishna Kishore wants to know, is USAID really gone? Some toolkit, same toolkit from BLM is used in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, Indonesia, and only filed in India. Is this the ally helping ally? Trump is the unaware of them?
What is BLM?
I think the whole thing we just disabused, Krishna. We talked about why these are not the same toolkit. I think we should skip that question. Let's go to the next one. MEA/IB should be proactive. Indians keep bailing out.
Aren't they proactive? How did Muizu turn?
Soros gang still in India, landmines everywhere.
Soros gang is very much in India. They're trying it, but see, he fails primarily because they're still using the old toolkits, which they've been using for decades. So that fails now. You need something new. It doesn't happen. The same social media that they use works both ways.
Next one, please. Thank you, Tara. I forgot to thank the previous person, so thank you so much for your generous gift. Is it right that Nepal army requested India to recognize the Lipule as Nepal territory? I don't think so.
No, it was Oli and the Chinese.
Yes.
But then the Chinese have turned turtle, no?
Yes.
They are agreed to do trail through Lipulek Pass.
General Rajiv, I have a question regarding this Chinese infrastructure that was laid out. It was believed that China had put a railway line from the Chinese border all the way up to Kathmandu. But I heard
No. The railway line is nowhere.
I see.
Okay, let me give you the history about this. See, there is a friendship road which comes from the east of Kathmandu, from Lhasa, immediately entering Nepal. I'm forgetting the name of the pass, and comes all the way to Kathmandu. It's called the Friendship Road. Okay, from the east. And then 2015 happened the massive earthquake. At that time, Nepal was requesting them to get the railway line along this road. 2015 comes the massive earthquake. During the relief operations, the Chinese requested that they would like to do it there. They found a whole lot of houses having the photo of or portrait of the 14th Dalai Lama. So they changed and they said, no, you will get it from Shigatse, that is west of Kathmandu via the Raswagadi area. One of the most treacherous and mountainous areas. They yet to do the DPR. The railway line comes, Shigatse is there. They yet to do the DPR. So nothing is on ground. They signed the ring road around Kathmandu when around 2014 only. I think second phase is on. It was supposed to be one phase. They did one half, 42 kilometers. 10 kilometers they did. Can you believe it? They ran out of the money of the project.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You can imagine how much they have lined the pockets of these people. So then they decided to break it up into 4 parts. One part done, second part, third part, fourth part. Still going on. It's still going on. So that is what is angering the people. And they have the local resources are available. They're getting everything from China. That angers them. They don't take people to work except for a few rest. All their labor comes from China. So that is the anger that the people have, that it was sold. The BRI was sold to them like to the Pakistanis, that they'll get jobs. There are no jobs.
Racha Kaul wants to clarify that White Emperor means 6th generation fighter.
A 6th generation fighter is all nonsense. They don't have engine. Their J20 is underpowered. So he can keep talking of 6th generation, 10th generation. But China, what has been seen, especially after our Op Sindhu, he only talks. Seeing is believing. He doesn't have stealth capability. His aircrafts are underpowered. So let him make his 6th generation. 6th generation is still nebulous, because what all entails that the factors that need to be there in that fighter for it to be called a 6th generation is still under discussion. Each country has its own view. मैं भी किसको बना दूंगा, बोल दूंगा मेरा 6th generation. Where is the clear definition of what entails a fighter to be called a 6th generation? Except for some sketchy 2-3 things of getting the feed and taking control of the UAV and various other things and stealth, and then nothing. So I can make use of that.
Thank you so much, Varadan, for your super sticker. And that brings us to a close of today's program. What a session. Thank you so much, General Rajiv Narayanan. We'll be seeing you very soon, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Sure.